Hi, welcome to Grain Crochet. I'm Mads and today I'm going to show you how to do a slip knot as well as chain, which is what you will use to create flat crochet pieces. All you will need to get started is a skein of yarn as well as the recommended hook size or the hook that you're going to use for your project. If you do struggle with tight tension, which is basically you crochet your stitches too tightly, I would recommend going up a hook size or two when you do the chain, which just makes it easier for you when you then go back to work into the chain. The chain stitches are nice and big and you don't have to try and struggle with it. So let's get started. So you'll first need to take the tail of your yarn, which is basically the little end piece, and the part of the yarn that's connected to the skein of yarn is called your working yarn. So you will need to bring the tail over the palm of your hand like that, with the bottom bit connected to your skein. So the working yarn is at the bottom and the tail is at the top. You will then need to wrap it around your index finger, so bring it over the top and the bottom. So that's one. You will need to do that again. So take the tail of your yarn, go over the top and down to the bottom. Now this piece of tail that you leave here is what you will later use to weave in the ends of your project to secure it. So leave this end as long as you need it to. This is all I'm going to use for now. So I am then going to grab these ends, so the working yarn as well as the tail, with my thumb just to secure it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back loop, which is closer to your hand, over the front loop, still keeping it on your finger though. So now it's sort of crossed over. And to finish the slip knot, all you're going to do is you're going to grab what now is your back loop over that one and bring it off your finger. So this little knot that you have here is now your slip knot. So you take your hook, put it in there, and there you go. So when you pull on your working yarn, you will tighten the slip knot. When you pull on the other end, you will create a bigger slip knot. Now you want to make sure it's not too big or not too small. And if you ever need to undo it, you can just get rid of the hook and you pull the two ends apart and it's undone. So let's do that again. So the working yarn is at the bottom of your hand, the tail is in your other hand, and you bring it over your index finger, wrap it around the front, go over again, and bring it back to the palm of your hand. Secure both the working yarn and your yarn tail with your thumb. Grab that back piece, pull it over the front piece, still making sure it's on your finger, and then you now grab this back piece, pull it over the front piece and off your finger. Grab your crochet hook, put it into the knot and take it off your finger. Now that is your slip knot. It sort of looks like this. So if you pull on your working yarn, it gets tighter. If you want to make it looser, you pull on the tail end of your yarn and it gets bigger. So now that you've got your slip knot on the hook, it should look something like this. You want to make sure it's not too loose or too tight. You just want to be able to move your chains through that loop. So you want to make sure it's a comfortable space. And now we're going to start chaining. So grab your working yarn however you're comfortable holding it. Now remember, the working yarn is the yarn that's connected to the skein. You're not going to be using this little tail end of it, okay? So now grab your yarn or hold it however you're comfortable holding it. And to chain, you're going to make sure your hook is in front of your yarn like that. So it's in front. Then you're going to bring that working yarn over the hook. So the yarn is sort of going from the back to the front, and now it's sort of looped over your hook. Now you will bring that yarn, you can use that little hook part to guide the yarn through that slip knot that's in that you have. So that's one chain. Now we're just going to repeat that for how many ever chains you need to make to begin your project. So you would make sure your hook is over your yarn, your working yarn, bring it over the hook from the back to the front and guide that piece of yarn through the loop on your hook. Now you've got just one loop on your hook. Again, make sure the hook is in front of the yarn. You bring it over and bring that through that loop. So that's 3 chains so far. Let's keep going. So hook in front of yarn, yarn over hook from back to front, and bring it through. That's number 4. Yarn over. Number 5, yarn over. Number 6, yarn over. Number 7, yarn over. Number 8, yarn over. Number 9, yarn over. You bring it through for number 10. So your chain should now look something like this. Now if you're unsure how many chains you have, you can count the number of V's that you have on your hook. So each of these little V's is 1 chain. So count all the V's and you should have 10 on there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 chains. And there we have it. That's how you do a slip knot and chain. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.